Hello and welcome to the podcast made to hopefully make you feel a little bit better about the world and a little bit more connected to the nonprofit world. We are going to be chatting with nonprofit leaders and founders, giving them a platform to share their stories and collaborate with others, because we believe that when we join hands, we can stand that much taller and make the world better. So sit back, plug in, and let's create some good. This is Nonprofit Connect with me, Matt Barnes. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Nonprofit Connect with me, Matt Barnes.
And Tiffany Pope.
Well, yeah, Tiffany's here too.
Woo!
How's it going?
You know, it's going as...
I don't know. That's why I asked.
You know, actually. Whoa. We just said that at the same time.
Well, Jinx. You owe me a Coke. Okay. We're 12.
Anyways, yeah, we are.
I mean,
I think...
You kind of are.
But
anyway.
I think you have like a 12-year-old body, like 12-year-old heart.
A 12-year-old body?
A 12-year-old.
This just got awkward.
Wait,
wow.
Wait, you know what I'm trying to say.
I think I do, but I never am sure with you.
What's that saying?
Young at heart? A 12-year-old?
Yeah, 12-year-old at heart.
12-year-old? Who says that?
Not body. No, I feel like a lot of people say that. Like,
no?
Oh, you're a kid at heart.
Kid at heart, yeah.
Okay.
But they don't say you have a 12-year-old body.
But you said...
Like, what?
Okay.
Okay.
A little jet lagged here.
Just so everybody knows, this is like daily basis for me around here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Such a great assistant.
Yeah, so awesome.
The things
wow.
to put on my calendar sometimes. I'm just like, what did that even mean? Anyway, how did we end up on that? I don't even know.
Literally
That was so
know.
distracting. I really don't even know. Okay. So we've been doing this podcast for a while. We've had a few guests on here who are younger and doing amazing things.
Yeah.
And they have made you feel a certain way. How would you describe that?
Well, I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Inadequate, maybe. Yeah? Okay. So, okay. And I feel that a little bit as well when I talk to these people, because some of them are so just like, I had not done anything that good or amazing or by the age of these kids.
Yeah.
And they are a little older than you. But today we've got another one. And she graduated from Stanford University with her BS and her MS, so bachelor's and master's in computer science in 2021. This girl, she's smart.
Yeah,
she knows
she's smart.
But she's also very relatable and fun. And she started a nonprofit called Develop for Good, and they work to support teams of diverse college students as they work on tech projects under professional mentors for other nonprofits. So she's working with kids who are studying tech and all of that to help them develop their skills and use them to support people who are trying to change the world. And
wow, that's so awesome.
Yeah. And it's just amazing. I'm like, what? So I've actually already set up a follow-up meeting with her personally. I'm like, I want to pick her. It's so cool the way that she is helping to develop students, but to use that also for good and for improving the world and all of that. And that's what we're all about. So I love that. She's got a lot of really great perspectives, and I'm really excited everybody's going to get to hear from her today. So Mary Zhu, the founder and executive director of Develop for Good, is here, and she's just got a lot of great things to share. And she will be sharing those right after this word from me to you. And then it'll be me again with her and not you.
Okay. Way to make me feel better.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Well, I am here with Mary Zhu, and thanks for being here, Mary.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Did I say your last name right?
Yeah. Zhu is great.
Great. Okay, good. So before we jump into everything, we always start with a segment called 3 Random Questions, where I unsurprisingly ask you 3 random questions. So you ready for that?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Where is somewhere that everyone in the world should visit?
I think Disney World.
Oh, nice.
I think Disney World is the most magical place on earth, or that's why it's called that for a reason.
Yeah, the Magic Kingdom.
Yes, I recently had the opportunity to visit. So Develop for Good is supported by an accelerator that is based in Orlando. And
nice.
Right before it started, I hadn't been to Orlando for over 11 years and had the chance to just visit real quick before work, like the grind started during the work week. And it's just as amazing as a 25-year-old as it is as a 13-year-old. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And I definitely recommend anyone to attend at any point in their life, because there's always really fun to do.
Nice. I'm going to Disneyland tonight. Disneyland, not
Oh,
Disney
no
World,
way.
but
Wow. Same thing.
yeah. It's a little smaller, but it's home. So, where are you located?
I live in San Francisco.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool, awesome. If you could put yourself into any film ever, which one would it be?
Any film ever. Oh, absolutely Harry Potter.
Nice. Which one?
I feel like the first one
Oh,
is
okay.
probably the best because it's before a lot of the horrible things with Voldemort start really happening, and there's
Sure.
still that childhood innocence of, just going to Hogwarts for the first time, so,
True.
I think having that magical experience would be insane.
Yeah. Which one's your favorite though?
My favorite is probably The Prisoner of Azkaban, so
There
the
you
3rd
go.
one, because the time turn I feel like if I had a time turner, that would be, like, incredible. I'd be
Yeah.
able to get a lot more done, so yeah.
I think it was the most well-made one as well. Like it's just the storytelling, the everything about it. I really liked that one. That was my favorite. And then finally, if you could only have one book with you on a desert island, what book would it be?
I would probably say the Bible.
Okay, there you go.
Because I myself, I'm a Christian, and I feel like that book is just it contains everything that is probably embodies all of my personal values. So,
There you go.
I think that would be the book.
There
Yeah.
you go. Awesome. All right. So you just told me inadvertently that you were 25 years old. That is based on what I'm have in front of me here on paper about you. That's impressive that you're doing what you're doing at 25. Tell me how this happened. What is your origin story and how did you end up doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I started Develop for Good, which is the nonprofit that I lead, when I was a junior in college. So, during that time, it was just the pandemic. It
Hmm.
was spring 2020. Me and like 14 million other college students were sent home in the middle of it, and our college experience was just completely disrupted. And at that time, like not only was like our social life fully disrupted, like we had gone from like a live bustling college campus experience to just total social isolation at home, like basically in your
Yeah.
room or your house or wherever for like 24 hours a day. And I guess another big impact was like a lot of experiences to get or I guess opportunities to get professional experience were canceled. So, campus activities like pre-professional clubs, internships, full-time job offers, a lot of those were just fully canceled or rescinded, and,
Yeah.
it was just really devastating for students that relied on those opportunities to, get to the next stage of their career, especially in that, like, pivotal, like, junior summer, like, time or just when I guess in any year of college, it's really important to get experience. And so that was just like a shock to all college students. At the same time, like nonprofits everywhere were also struggling. It was projected that a third of the world's global nonprofits would shut down because of COVID, either because of like lack of financial resources, like not being digitally equipped to deal with a fully virtual world.
Yeah.
It was just a lot. And for myself, I've always just cared a lot about the nonprofit world. My family was supported by nonprofits in my early childhood. And I had actually started my first nonprofit as a high school student when I was
What?
baking selling cakes, for and donating all the profits I made to charity, and so nonprofits have always just been a big part of my life in just various aspects, and so, I thought what better way, to give students something really productive and, I guess, like, a way for them to enhance their skills and work on professional projects than to have them solve problems for the entities and organizations that needed, people like them the most. And
Yeah.
so that was how Develop for Good was born, when I was a junior in college.
Wow. So you're an overachiever. Okay, we get that. I think back to what I was doing in high school and college, and I'm insanely lazy in contrast. But so that's it's no, it's really impressive. What are you doing with Develop for Good? What's the aim?
So our aim is to really, be able to support diverse, mostly underserved and underrepresented college students
Mm,
by giving them hands-on project experiences, by working on projects for nonprofits, so that they can accelerate their careers, and enter and create a more diverse tech industry. So there's two really big main value props that we deliver through Developer Good. So for the nonprofits, we give them really custom, high quality tech services and digital services. On the flip side, to the students, we give them really valuable hands-on project experiences that accelerate their tech careers. So we're really solving this kind of two-sided problem with two solutions that really complement each other.
What are some of the tech solutions that you're providing?
So some examples of projects that we've done are like websites, web apps, like designs, so
Mm.
prototypes, user research, as well as data visualizations and data engineering projects. So it's really just like those three categories: engineering, design, and data, that we provide for nonprofits.
Wow, that's really cool. Before we move on, I do want to acknowledge something that you said in the beginning about college and your university experience being disrupted. I think I so feel for you and the people your age who went through that, because I think it's, at the time there was a lot of talk about it, and then it just kind of, everybody moved on. And for me and for so many of us, that was such a formative experience in our lives. It's like some of the best learning, and not some. When I always tell people, when I think of college, I rarely think of in the classroom. I mean, I've learned things in the classroom, of course, but it's more than that. And having that experience disrupted, I can't imagine. I don't want to imagine what that would have been like. And so I feel for all of you. I'm really sorry that you had to go through that. I hope that, it seems like you are not letting that hold you back, which is great. But that you guys are able to kind of compensate for some of that in other ways, because that was for me when all that was going on and we're all at home and we're all doing a thing. I'm just, oh, these poor college students and high school students, and man, especially the college students. I just so felt for.
Thank you. Your empathy is very much appreciated.
Yeah, I've noticed how at the time it was talked about, but then nobody brings it up anymore. And I just feel like you guys were all so robbed of that. And I mean, I know, it was a terrible thing, and a lot of that was necessary, but it doesn't mean it sucks any less. I just want to acknowledge that. But looking now, starting up a nonprofit, providing these services, what have been some of the biggest challenges for you in starting and getting a nonprofit up and running?
I guess for myself, so after I graduated, so I went to Stanford, where I got my undergrad and my master's degrees in computer science in 4 years.
Wow.
And Developer Good has been my first and only full-time job since graduating.
Yeah.
And that has been the biggest learning journey I've ever experienced. Um, like, I think figuring out how to, like, just build a nonprofit from the ground up,
Yeah.
sustain, like, a full-time employees, and other employees, growing a team, figure out the whole fundraising, system, and,
Hmm.
like, it's just all been so much. Like, everything was just so new because
Yeah.
beyond, like, the exposure to nonprofits that I got pre-college, I'd never really didn't really know how a nonprofit worked,
Right.
like a incorporated, like, self-sufficient nonprofit worked from the operating side, and so I had to learn all of that from the ground up, and it was a lot.
I
It was
bet.
a lot of ups and downs for sure. I know that that's, like, a very broad answer, but just learning everything from the ground up and kind of building the plane as I was flying it,
Yeah.
um, was definitely a journey, but I think that was a forcing function for me to learn and adapt very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And, just looking back over the past 2 years since I've graduated, um, I've like, the amount of, like, just new experiences and knowledge I gained in that condensed amount of time has been tremendous, and, I'm so grateful to just all of the different individuals, like mentors, coaches, like supporters, people on our advisory boards and boards of directors that have really taught me everything that I know now, and I'm still continuing to grow and learn. Yeah, it's I look back on it with like a lot of gratitude, but there are definitely a lot of like ups and downs and along
Yeah.
that close journey.
Is there something you would say to somebody starting a nonprofit, like either a word of caution or some advice or anything like that what would you start with?
I think word of insight, I guess, is well, I know everyone's nonprofit journey is very different.
Hmm.
And I'm sure if like I know that the growth trajectory is very different for different nonprofits. So, but just based on my experience with Develop for Good, like there will be times when it feels like growth is very slow.
Hmm.
And it will feel like you'll kind of see like for myself coming from like I live in Silicon Valley and a
Yeah.
lot of peers and a lot of people that I'm friends with or in my circles are like for-profit founders.
Yeah.
And the trajectory is very different for a nonprofit from a for-profit founder trajectory. And sometimes, um, often, a lot of times I felt like I was failing, or that like my progress compared to other founders in my circle's progress is like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst founder in the world. But I think recently we've been experiencing like a lot more growth and we actually like this month surpassed like our 1 million in revenue like
Wow.
threshold and that's been extremely exciting for us and I think things just like the trajectory and the cadence and it's just different for nonprofits, and sometimes it just takes a lot of patience, and sometimes, like, a lot of the things that your results are a lot more delayed, but they still come nonetheless if you continue working at it, and adapting and just, like, growing as an organization, so I think it's just I mean, there's still a lot of room for us to grow, but, I'm really proud of the work that we've been able to do,
For
so
sure.
far.
Well,
That
yeah.
definitely yeah, persevering through the times where it felt like we were stagnating.
Yeah, and I think, so many of the conversations I have with people who are either considering starting a nonprofit or have just started a nonprofit, and it sounds like this was not you, which is good. But it's so often like they see a problem and it's like, oh, I'll just start a nonprofit, and I'm like, that's harder than starting a business. Like it's starting a business plus you got to do fundraising plus there's a lot of governmental, regulatory stuff with nonprofits and you have to adhere to, and you're dealing with limited budgets, and people can't really invest in the way that they can in a startup, all those things. So, it does often take longer, and that doesn't mean you're behind. It's a lot. There's a lot there. And honestly, that's super impressive that you are where you are. I work with a lot of small nonprofits that have been around for 10, 15 years that haven't achieved what you've achieved already because they're going like, I don't know how to grow this thing. I don't know what.
It's tough because you're basically bootstrapping a company and doing it with a model where you're not trying to maximize profit because you're a
Right.
nonprofit.
Right.
And so naturally it is extremely difficult to navigate and get things started up. So yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen or heard about the documentary Uncharitable?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you should check it out. It's really great. Came out last year. Dan Pallotta, he did some TED Talks about 15 years ago that really kind of caught everybody's attention, and then he wrote a book called Uncharitable, and now they made a documentary. But it really breaks down a lot of the things that nonprofits are up against, that make it so much harder for them to succeed at doing what you're talking about, being the experts who can go out and solve the world's problems, because there's just a lot stacked up against the nonprofit world, in cultural expectations and all that, and it's rough. And there's a lot of good stuff in there that is both encouraging and also kind of like, okay, so what are we gonna do about this? Like, we gotta do something to, there needs to be some reform. But that was, as I was asking some of these questions, just because I this was pretty recent. We did a screening here for it, and it's pretty fresh in my head. So, it sounds like as someone who's starting this stuff, this is a lot of the stuff that you're dealing with and encountering.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely just so many challenges that are unique to the nonprofit sector when you're starting a company brand new, like a brand new company in this sector. So I definitely will want to check out that documentary.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's great. It's not too long, but it's really well done. And I think it was directed by Jake Gyllenhaal's dad. which is
Oh, wow.
an odd fact for you there. But yeah, no, it was really, really good. Tell me more about where you see your organization headed, Develop for Good, and how do you envision growth and actually make that happen? Like, how are you approaching that?
Yeah, so we are a tech nonprofit startup.
Hmm.
And so we are developing internal software to really scale our model indefinitely. Our vision is to be able to give like every college student the opportunity to solve a problem for a nonprofit with technology. And we think that by engaging just this incredible tech talent
Hmm.
at this formative time in their life in college, like this can just transform what the nonprofit sector can look like, as well as what the tech industry can look like. We see a future in which the nonprofit industry is way more digitalized
Hmm.
and way more lives can be impacted by the amazing work that so many nonprofits are just doing. And we also see this as a way to just have the tech industry, the diversity of the tech industry, reflect the diversity of the world, with just students everywhere having the opportunity to get this hands-on experience through this really unique and impactful way to get this experience. And so we want to create this world by just creating an extremely scalable solution through our internal technology of just facilitating this model and this kind of ecosystem of students and nonprofits and like supporting companies as we try to bring this change about the world. And so right now we're leveraging different emerging technologies to make this happen, like AI, cloud, and just building this platform internally and planning to pilot in our programs in the upcoming cohorts. So it's an exciting time for us. It'll definitely be something that it's a long game strategy. It'll take
Yeah.
a while to see this change coming about, but we're very committed to doing our best to continue making progress towards this vision that we have for the world.
I love it. So you're really a nonprofit for nonprofits to help them utilize this technology and connecting them with some of the best talent that is coming out in that area, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
students in college are learning the latest technology
right.
in their courses, and if this is like a channel for us to just direct that talent continuously into the nonprofit industry, so that it's like I guess it's just keeping up to date with the cutting edge of everything that's being taught to the next generation of technologists at school.
Yeah. So how many people do you have on your team now?
So we have 4 employees on our
Okay.
team, but every year we manage close to 700 tech
Wow.
volunteers,
Okay.
which are both students and industry mentors. So it's a big organization managed by a small core team.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So the students or are some of them recent graduates or are most of them current students?
Some of them are recent graduates with less than 2 years of full-time work experience, but
Okay.
most are current undergrad and graduate students.
So you're giving them real world work experience while they're able to apply that in a real way. That's amazing. I think, I have a creative agency and we do internship program here. And obviously it's a different field, but I'm such a huge believer in if you're gonna do internships, if you're gonna do something for college students, they need to have the opportunity to actually make an impact, get their hands dirty, try things out. I tell our interns, if you spend a semester here, this company should look different by the time you leave because I want you to get in there and do stuff. And because they're learning the newest things, and we have the experience, and together we can learn from them, they can learn from us. But it's hard to find that out there. A lot of people won't trust students with that stuff. They're getting the coffee, they're making the copies, whatever. And so it's so inspiring because I really believe also, and this has come from a lot of these interviews on this podcast, is so much of the hope and potential that I see for the future of this world is in your generation and younger. And there's a lot of talk about how do we activate that. And this is such a beautiful, simple, but beautiful, not simple as the execution. I'm sure it's very complicated, but giving them that real world experience in exchange for actually giving them a chance to impact the world. And how cool is that?
Thank you so much. Yeah, we definitely see this as like a huge investment in just humanity
Yeah.
because we really see our students, like our incredible diverse talent, as the next generation of leaders in the tech industry. And like, there's just so like the tech industry is booming right now, and
Yeah.
they will be eventually the future decision makers of a large amount of resources and capital in the world. And we think that by giving them this like experience of seeing them like the opportunity to leverage their skills in a way that they can firsthand see impact so many communities, that they will hold on to this experience as like a lifelong commitment to wanting to dedicate what they have, their skills, their resources, to doing good in the world. And so we really do see this as we're in it for the long run, and we
Yeah.
see long-term solutions. So.
And that's beautiful too, because if you can get those experiences in the foundation of your career and of who you are, that's gonna influence everywhere you go after that. You get a taste of something that's actually impactful, and for most people, it's hard to walk away to something that's purely financially driven or purely that kind of thing. Not that there's anything wrong with financial making money, but finding ways to actually I tell people all the time, I'm like, they don't doing well for the world and doing well for yourself do not have to be mutually exclusive. These two concepts can exist together. So yeah, I love that. I love everything about what you're doing. This is really, really great. This is become my favorite thing on doing this podcast, which was sort of this unintended accidental happy accident of side effect, is just with all the junk and stuff going on in the world and all the relentless push notifications for terrible news things, getting to hear from people like you out there actually just like finding creative ways to make a positive impact is so encouraging and wonderful.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really.
Well, let's see. As we sort of wrap up, I just was wondering, are there any sort of last thoughts or things that you want to share that would be helpful for other people in the nonprofit sector to hear, especially, well, anything really, anything you want, but also if you have something specific in the area of, you guys are doing this in a pretty innovative way. I think innovation is something that the nonprofit sector struggles with sometimes. And I don't know, do you have any insights on that or how to approach that, and get people on board with that vision?
I think the only words I have left to say are really, I think this is like a really exciting time. Like, there's so much that technology can unlock
Hmm.
in the impact world. And I think the amazing work that the nonprofit sectors has been doing since its inception, I'm really excited to see the ways that it can be enhanced by just leveraging technology and emerging tech talent. And so I guess we're always looking within even Develop for Good itself as a nonprofit, looking for ways to just make our work more efficient and more scalable. And I guess just and it can be a really fun and exciting exercise. So,
Hmm.
if there's any opportunity within your organization where technology can be introduced to just enhance the amazing work that you already do as an organization, just embrace that. And I guess just feel excited as I am about just the unlimited potential, really, that you and your nonprofit can make just through technology. So,
I love it.
yeah.
So good. All right. A few questions as we close. Let's see. Is there anyone in the nonprofit world that you look up to that you would just love to take to lunch?
I remember reading the bio of the founder of Charity Water,
Hmm.
and I thought it was a super cool and inspiring and empowering story. Just like the kind of 360 change from being a club promoter and
Hmm.
selling water bottles for $15 each to rich kids
Yeah.
in clubs, to being the founder of the most one of the most impactful water charities in the world. And
Yeah.
I'd love to take him to lunch and learn more about that entire
Yeah.
formative process. So I think that was like that is a story that stuck with me after reading his profile. So
yeah, and he's highlighted, featured pretty heavily in the documentary too. Yeah, and it was fascinating to hear some of the behind the scenes stuff that he went up against and how he approached some of that. Yeah, it's really interesting. There's some things with him that he had connections that allowed him to do some things that would be hard for other people to do, but it just even that thinking outside the box of trying things in different ways was inspiring. What about your job brings you the most joy?
I think really seeing the impact on the students and nonprofits we serve, as well as the mentors we serve, really. Like to students, we've gotten messages about like students saying like because of their Develop for Good project experience, they landed like their dream internship or dream job. It fills me with so much pride. Like I'm not a mother yet, but I imagine that's how a mother feels when like their kid is like succeeding, like winning like the soccer tournament, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I feel so proud of our students for like just achieving their goals while also doing like showing the world that you can achieve your goals while also like making a huge impact for the social impact world. I think for a nonprofit, it's so heartwarming to see like our partners saying that the project that our students made for them like impacted their organizations and like by like driving way more donors to their websites or by helping them like reach and serve their beneficiaries better. And also like the industry mentors that volunteer with us.
Yeah.
A lot of them have said like they've learned a lot from the students that they're mentoring. And it's really cool to see like when we created the mentorship program, we really thought it was just passing down the knowledge in a unilateral like kind of way, but
Sure.
it's really a bilateral experience. And
It is.
it's really cool to hear that story and that testimonial when we get it too. So I think just seeing that is so rewarding. Like it's beyond like I can't imagine anything feeling more rewarding than that. So
oh, yeah. That's great. That's awesome. Well, Mary, thank you so much for doing this. And let's let the people know, where can they find you? Where can they find more about what you're doing and connect with you?
Yeah, www.developforgood.org is our website where you can find so much information about just everything we do, FAQs, example projects, everything. We also have a really prolific LinkedIn page. So just search for Develop for Good on LinkedIn, and we regularly post there about everything that's going on, from like spotlights of volunteers, spotlights of nonprofit partners, Develop for Good in the news, our bustling social community. So that's where you can get the most up-to-date insights into what we do. And we also send out quarterly newsletters to just give like updates on everything that's happened from quarter to quarter, which, yeah. So feel free to just check us out on all of those platforms.
I love it. So good. Well, everybody, make sure you connect with Develop for Good. They're doing great, innovative work. I'm so excited to hear about it. I want to tell more people about it. So, and I'll be looking at that for sure and spreading the word. So thanks for being here, Mary. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Yes, my friends, we have come to the end of this amazing episode of Nonprofit Connect with Matt Barnes. You made it! Thank you so much for listening this far. And if you'd like to hear more from Nonprofit Connect, brought to you by Rogue Creatives, make sure to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on so you don't miss out. We don't care which one. It doesn't really matter. Just listen. Just subscribe. Just make it come right into your podholes every week so you can hear what's going on. Also, if you're interested in working with us or want to reach out and tell us how amazing we are, learn more, whatever it is, you can visit our website, npconnect.roguecreatives.com. Or just go to roguecreatives.com and you can find the rest. Okay, that's pretty much it. Okay, bye-bye. Nonprofit Connect with Matt Barnes is hosted and executive produced by me, Matt Barnes, with an assist by my chaos coordinator, Tiffany Pope. Production is by our amazing friends over at Fame, the B2B podcast agency, along with Belinda Carter-Thompson and the team here at Rogue Creatives. Production lead is Luke Audi at Fame. Writing is by Sam Hollis at Fame and Matt Barnes and Taylor Bolanos from Rogue Creatives. Nemanja Koljaja of Fame is our audio editor, and Arslan Yakub from Fame is our video editor. Creative direction is by Corey Hill of Rogue. Our artwork is designed by Hopo Kelly and Joshua Marino at Rogue, and Ian Salas of Fame. Theme music is composed and performed by Jared Atherton of Chapters. Luke Audio Fame does our booking and our guest relations. Huge thanks to our amazing guest for joining us for this episode, and to all of you incredible listeners for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, and I don't know why you wouldn't have, don't forget to help us spread some good by giving us a good review. Preferably, 5 stars with lots of words saying how amazing we are on whatever platform you're listening on. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is. Also, tell your friends and subscribe so we can come straight into your podholes each and every time we have a new episode. For more information about Nonprofit Connect, or to join us at a live event here in Orange County, California, visit our website, npconnect.roguecreatives.com. We'll catch you next time. This has been a Rogue Creatives production.